All right, guys, we made a tunnel entrance for where we're going to have the tunnel. And it looks something like this. And what we used was this bark, like this, and we kind of cut it in half so that it'll glue on here, and that's what we're going to do. And then what I usually do, after I get it all glued on there, then I'll go back with some paint and dry brush it so that it looks like red rocks. And that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I'm going to get a little sandpaper, get this all roughed up because this is where everything's going to go. Now I cut this out of a piece of balsa wood, and I use my little jigsaw and just kind of smooth it out a little bit so stuff will stick to it better. And then you just go along and you pick out your bark and you sand it so that it's nice and flat on one side, and it'll glue down real good. Get you some sandpaper and sand it down. And then see where you might want to put it. You want to put it there or here or along here, but just be remembering that you want your train to be able to go through there and not hit one of these things. So you don't want this thing out like that where the train may go ahead and may hit it. So let's get started, and hopefully we'll come up with something similar to the other one. We're going to, got a little dust there on that, but that's okay. We'll get it off of there. Just put a little glue on here. This is that tacky glue that I like so much. It glues pretty quick, and it also glues clear. So we're going to put that on there like that. And then now we'll find another one to put on. And here's one here that's pretty neat. Looks like if I do it just right, it'll look like a rock. Put that in there like that. Sand it down just a hair. So it sits nice and flat. And sanding also will give the glue something to stick to. So I'll put a little glue on there, just like that. And then we're going to put this in on here. Maybe slide that end underneath there. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do it the other way. See what happens. Yeah, that's better. I like that better. And just go like that. Just keep putting stuff on there and finding little rocks or pieces of bark here that'll work. And let's see how that looks on there. No, I'm not liking that.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah. Find pieces that will fit there. Maybe it'll go over here, like right in there, like that. What do you think? Yeah, it looks good. So let's get a little off of there. And you can get this bark. Well, we went to Lowe's and we didn't see anything we liked there. So we ordered this online, and it's not as big as we wanted it. You know, the little pieces of bark aren't as big as we were hoping they would be, but they seem to be, we can work with it. And but I think they had some of this stuff at Lowe's as well, and probably Home Depot, any place where they Ace Lumber or whatever, Ace Hardware. And you can get it by the bag. And let's see if that'll go there. I'm not crazy about that. Maybe that'll go there. Yeah, I like that better. It's not as big a gap. And that's something you have to worry about too. If you get a big gap in there, then you got to go back with dust or something to fill in the gaps. Just like that. And it's as easy as that. We actually got this idea on YouTube. There's a gentleman in, I think he's in Sweden. He had another guy from I think the States or someplace came to visit him and brought him this idea. And he did it. And man, did those things turn out good. But they were bigger pieces of bark. They were like this. And he cut them in half, just like we're doing here, sort of. And he painted them all up and put them into the sculpture mold that he was using, and then dry brushed them. Man, they came out really good. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here, duplicate that. I can't think of his name right now. I know he's got a YouTube channel, and he's from. I'm thinking it's Sweden, but yeah, that turned out great. So that's kind of what we're doing here, because it's hard to find the red rocks that we need.
Right.
And so we're kind of going with this for right now. And if it don't work out, what's the worst that can happen? We have to throw it in the trash and start over with something else. But yeah. And like I said, once we get it all glued on there, we'll go back with a lighter color and dry brush it so that it looks more like a rock. And you just pick out some pieces, move them around however you want them, like something like that, or because I'm not sure that these rocks are perfect in their environment either. And when you're cutting a tunnel, it doesn't always. I mean, you're actually tunneling through rock, and so you're going to have rock stuff on your. So that's what we're doing, and we'll just keep doing this until we cover that completely up. It's just like anything else. You just take your time and. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get this finished up, and then when I get it all glued in, we'll come back and I'll show you how I brush it so that it looks like rocks, okay? All right, guys, this stuff's all dry now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue, this Scenic glue here from Woodland Scenics. I'm going to put it down there in all those little cracks and grooves and stuff. And then I'm going to take some of this stuff that we made up. It's partly the shavings off of the redwood bark, some of this JET or JTT ballast coarse brown. We mixed some of that in there, and some Oklahoma red dirt. And we're going to sprinkle it on there and cover up all that stuff. All right? All right, let's do this. Here we go. We're going to put some of this in there. Hopefully, boy, it's coming out, but it's thick. Holy moly. Maybe you ought to use that other stuff. What do you think? Yeah, let's do that. Man, that's coming out really, really hard there. All right. Do this, like that. Get a little glue in there. over here. Let's pick it up so we can get it on there right. Like that. All along in there. Probably should have maybe mixed this with some water so it would flow better. And what we'll do, like I said, we'll go back in there and we'll put a bunch of this stuff we made. See how that works. All right, let me get a little deal like this to get it down in there, in those places. And then we'll just, like I said, we'll go back with that stuff and sprinkle it in places and wait for it to dry. I don't think I want all that in there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll pick this up. Do like that. There we go. Now we can let that dry and see how it looks, or just keep going, I guess. Pretty good gap there. Bit of a gap there. Right there. I tried to fit those in there real close, so we wouldn't have those big old gaps, but it's kind of hard to do. And like I said, it's probably not going to be perfect. Yeah. How about that? I don't know. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. Let this dry, and then we'll shake all this stuff off and see how it turned out. So we will be back when this is all dry. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, I think we got this. It should be dry, so I'm going to turn it upside down and knock some of this dirt off of it and see how it turned out. See if we like it. Da-da-da-da! That's not too bad. There's still a few little places that didn't quite get stuff in it, but I think all in all, not too bad. What do you think? Like, I still got to paint it, you know, do the dry brushing, but I think that's pretty good. Yeah. And then this will go on at the front of the. This will go on at the front of the tunnel, and then the other one, this one or that one, will go on the other side of the tunnel where it comes through. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Like I said, I got to dry brush this. Let me brush it off and get some of the goobers off that. And then I'll get my brush over there, and we'll do some dry brushing and see if it looks like rock. What do you think? Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's see if we can get this to dry brush real well. What I do is I just get some paint on my brush, like everybody else, and just try to get as much off of it as I can. And then just lightly go across there. And all it does is enhances the ridges so it looks like a rock. See how I'm doing that? Just lightly go across there. You don't need a lot, just enough to highlight the rock portion, you know, hide the crevice, show up the crevices more. I thought about, and I tried it, painting these before I did this. It didn't turn out so good. I painted them gray and then did this. This looks better. It makes it look like the rocks are red rocks, and that's basically what we have around here is red rocks. We don't have any, normal colored rocks. They're all red. And so I thought, let's don't make it look like something that we don't have around here. That's kind of what we're after is modeling the area that we live in. And everything is red rock here. And dirt. So the best thing to do is just highlight these things so that you're not painting your rocks this color. You're just highlighting the... I got a little bit too much on that one, looks like. But it's going to be okay, I think. And if everything works out right, it'll look like we have a tunnel opening that was done in rock. I think after we get this all done, I'm probably going to have to go back in and put some soot along the areas here where trains have been going through there for maybe 100 years or so, and getting soot from diesels and going through there, and maybe make it look a little more realistic. Because if you look at most tunnels, you're going to see that there is soot up on top where when it comes through, especially if it's on a grade of any sort, that the thing's going to be struggling to get through there, and when it comes through, there's going to be some ash and there's going to be some soot from the diesels. And it's just from over time this stuff happens. Yeah, as I was saying, we were watching this on the YouTube channel, and this gentleman that I was telling you about, man, what a great job he did. It really looked good. But he was painting them a gray color, and but I would assume where he's modeling, they have rocks that look like that. Here, we don't have that many rocks that are kind of gray. They're mostly all red. I don't know. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. All right, what do you think, guys? I think it looks pretty good. I think it's going to look really good on the model or on the layout. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. I think it looks pretty good. I'd using regular rock. Yeah, it's hard to find rock that isn't just round and shiny, and we wanted this to not look shiny. We wanted it to look like this was carved out of the stone in the mountain. So that's the reason why we're using the bark. We tried, like I said, we tried using the foam and making it look like brick, and then we thought about, well, let's do a wooden one. And man, we weren't real crazy about that. We tried it. It didn't. I'm not real good at that kind of stuff. So we like I said, we watching that guy on YouTube from Sweden, and this gave us the idea. Hey, why don't we do that? Why don't we try that? We tried everything else. Let's do this. I think it turned out good. Actually, looks like rocks. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the and like and subscribe, and make little comments if you like this or not, or if you think that's a good idea. It's all appreciated. Thank you, bud.